Hello everyone, it's Jen from Old Tinker Studio. In this DaVinci Resolve Fusion tutorial for beginners, you will learn how to add 3D models to a scene in Fusion with DaVinci Resolve. The links to download DaVinci Resolve and the background image are in the description. The links to download the 3D model and the textures are also in the description. I would recommend watching my Introduction to DaVinci Resolve Fusion tutorial before continuing with this tutorial. So let's get on with the tutorial. This tutorial will introduce you to working with 3D models in DaVinci Resolve Fusion. We will be adding a simple 3D model to an image in this tutorial, but this can also be done with a video. I import the graphic into the media pool. I then drag the graphic onto the timeline. I make sure that I'm on frame 1 and open the Fusion tab. I then drag an image plane 3D onto the work area, and while holding Shift, I drag it onto the connector between the media in and media out. I then view the image plane viewer in the first viewer. To move up and down, use the mouse wheel. Holding Control and using the mouse wheel allows you to zoom in and out. Alt and left click allows you to freely move the image plane. Alt and the mouse wheel allows you to tumble around the image plane. And holding down the mouse wheel allows you to strafe left and right. Now I will import my 3D object. Using Shift and Spacebar, I search for FBX Mesh. And when I click Add, I have the option to open my FBX file. I view the merged 3D in the first viewer. I use Control on my mouse wheel to zoom out so I can see the 3D object. I select the FBX Mesh 3D and scale the 3D object in the inspector. I then select the image plane and I scale it up. Then I move it behind the 3D model and adjust its height relative to the model. I then select the FBX Mesh 3D and I rotate the model. I select the Merge 3D node and add a camera from the tools. I add a Render 3D node to the work area, and holding Shift, I add it to the node tree between the Image Plane 3D and the Media Out node. I connect the Merge 3D node to the Render 3D node. I then move the camera in the first viewer until I can see the full scene in the second viewer. Make sure I have nothing selected in the work area. Use your Shift Spacebar. I look for Cook Torrents and add it to the work area. This node is used for the textures. I then import the textures for the 3D model into the media pool. I drag the diffuse map onto the work area. and using F2 I rename the node. I then connect the diffuse node to the cook torrents. I then add a bump node to the work area. In the inspector, I changed the source type to bump map and connect the bump node to the cook torrents node. I then drag the normal map onto the work area and I rename it using F2. I then connect the normal map to the bump map node. I then connect the cook torrents node to the FBX mesh node. I hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.